Hi, today I'm going to present the last application part of data science. So there are two topics which are mostly the people are interested. That is data collection in data science. And second topic is data science for biology students. So first thing is what you have learned so far is more than enough to proceed for data science job as a data analyst or data scientist. So fundamentally, there are two types of data. That is quantitative, where you get numbers, tests, counting, and measuring. Now you can see the qualitative, that is words, images, observation, conservations, photographs. So the main purpose of introducing these classes are to help you to get and start your job. And from here, I will also continue how and where you can find the data science jobs and what are the challenges which you need to look for it. So there are the types of data collections. For example, primary data collection, secondary data collection. In primary data collection, you collect the SAM data from surveys, interviews, opinion, polls. Secondary data collection is where you get the company's annual reports, sales records, internet information. Now, in data collection methods, there are a number of data collection methods, forms and questionnaires, interviews, observations, documents and records, focus groups, oral histories, combination research, online tracking, online marketing analytics, and social media monitoring, and many more. Sources of data like surveys, person, telephone, email IDs, observation, personal observation, mechanical observation, experimental data, laboratory experiment, field experiment. So these data like survey, observation, experimental, they are quite easy to analyze and deliver in the best form of outcome. So sources of secondary data are library, government, trade, professional and business, private business firm, advertising media, university research organizations, hospitals and management. Data collection techniques, observations, tests, surveys, document analysis. Then data analysis processes include data decision, what kind of data you want to analyze, data collection, data cleaning, data analysis, data interpretation, and data visualizations. Now, the quantitative methods here experiment. Research situation with at least one independent variable which is manipulated by the researcher. Independent variable, the invariable in the study under consideration, the cause for the outcome for the study. Now, dependent variable, the variable being affected by the independent variable, the effect of the study. Now, such mathematical equation could be used as a function to interpret or relate your data. Now, key factors for high quality experimental designs: data should not be contaminated by poor measurement or errors in procedure. Eliminate confounding variables from the study or minimize the effects on the variables. Representativeness: does your sample represent the population you are studying? Must use random sample techniques. There are four key elements. What makes a good quantitative research design? So these four key elements are freedom from bias, freedom from confounding, control of extraneous variables, statistical precision to test hypothesis. Bias: when observations favor some individuals in the population over the others, that is called bias. Now, confounding: when the effects of two or more variables cannot be separated. Extraneous variables: any variable that has an effect on the dependent variable. Now, need to identify and minimize these variables. For example, erosion potential as a function of clay content, rainfall intensity, vegetation, and duration would be considered. Now, precision versus accuracy. Precise means sharply defined or measured. Accurate means the truth or the correct. So this is what you need to understand: what is precision and what are accurate. So these are the example of to be precise or accurate. Now, interpreting results and experiments. So the results of and the experiments. So the goal of research is to draw conclusions. What did the study means? What, if any, is the cause and effect of the outcome? Introducing to sampling. Sampling is the population of accurately acquiring the necessary data in order to form a representative view of the problem. This is much more difficult to do than is generally realized. Overall methodology: state the objectives of the survey, define the target population, define the data to be collected, define the variables to be determined, define the required precision and accuracy, define the measurement instrument, define the sample size and sampling method, then collect the sample. Sampling distributions. When you form a sample, you often show it by a plotted distribution known as histogram. A histogram is the distribution of the frequency of occurrence of a certain variable within a specified range. Now, this is how your histogram could look like. And these are some of the plot. So variable 1 versus variable 2. Now, interpreting the quantitative findings. Here you need to use the basic statistics, that is mean, median, mode, and frequencies. Then go for error analysis. And how you go for mean analysis? There are basic equations of the mathematics where it is of class 10 standard mathematics maximum. Now median, similarly mode, and then I'm coming for a detailed data collection, processing, and analysis. This comes from a complete book chapter. So I try to present you the details, how you proceed for data collection, processing, and analysis. For example, steps involved in data collection. First step, for example, steps in primary data collection, steps in secondary data collection. What are the steps? And you are quite familiar if you have good internet speed and good storage capacity, you can directly use these facilities to collect, download, and collect the or store the data in your specified disks. And there are other ways. If you are working for a company on a sensitive data, then you need to work on the live data which are stored in cloud computers. So it is not stored on your computer, but you need to log in with certain password and accessibility, and then collect the data from there or analyze directly the data on the source places, that is in cloud computers. Now, so identification of the issues. What are the issues you need to identify from what are the goals of the data? And then tools and techniques used for data collection. You need to be very careful. Then you go for the next part. What are the, for example, if you're working on questionnaires, then what kind of questionnaires they are? Then group them, the questionnaires. If there are, for example, 100 questionnaires, then group the questionnaires into set sets, so that similar kind of data set could be analyzed easily and correlated with each other. And once you group the data, then you can also relate group each group, one group from another group also. And this will help you to go for conclusion. And the left side, you can see the figures for data collection and analysis. Now, you can also go for some kind of rating scales, and many more techniques are available. So these are some of the data types. Now it comes photographs. If you need to analyze the images, then what you need to do? So you need to look for the quality of the images, then go for the processing, pre-processing, and then go for segmentation or processing, and then go for the quality analysis and plotting. So then next is something where you are going to collect the information. So collection of information, then final analysis, selection of the samples, sample size, as I have mentioned. And please remember that the quality of the plots or analysis must be with full clarity and in very good quality. This makes your analysis or approach more attractive and demanding. So, the place where you work as a data scientist, they will be impressed with the quality of analysis, and that includes also the plots, the plots quality, and the realistic view, how much your figures are representative for what you are concluding. Then you go for different way of linkage. So these are the plots. They are just individual representation or figures. But if you want to correlate, for example, here you have seven figures, sub-figures. Out of these seven sub-figures, is it possible to make one or two figures for all these seven figures after plotting these seven figures? So this is the way what you need to find while you are analyzing the big data set. And if you are successful and very good data analyst or data scientist, then you must be capable of these kind of plots. So do not forget to learn the analysis within analysis, presentation within presentation. So if you are showing 10 figures for your analysis, how to migrate to 5 figures for the best representation and conclusive figure, these things, and how to migrate from 5 figures to 2 figures or 1 figure. This is what makes you more and more successful, and data scientist science is the future for getting the easiest job. It does not mean that if you belong to biology or non-biology, science or non-science, what you need to know is basic mathematics and basic coding. So, for example, here I'm presenting the graphical representation for different types of plots. For example, bar graphs, histograms, frequency tables, pie chart or circle graph, then line graphs, stem and leaf plot, line plot, box and whisker plot. These are the 8 sub-figures which are quite useful and commonly used. Now the question is, what is the future of a biologist in data science? So there, as I mentioned, there is no need to be a biologist, there is no need to be a mathematician or computational programmer. What you need is to understand the class 10 or plus 2 or matriculation level mathematics only. And if you understand these things, the rests are just add on helping things. For example, if you are a biologist and you want to work in the field of medical data science as a data analyst, then it will be helpful for you to understand some of the technical words. But if you don't know anything, if you are not familiar about the related terms and terminology in for the data which you receive, then you don't need to be afraid. First thing is, when you receive or when you are going to deal for any data science job, you just need to ask the details or get the internet help for the advertised positions or details of the data science job. And then all those keywords which you are not aware, try to learn it immediately within few minutes, and then go for communication for getting the job discussion. And that's the easiest way. And these terms are not that complicated to understand. So here, yeah, there are data presentation types, table, pie chart, and bar chart, histograms, many more things. So these things you need to understand in a realistic view only. The rests are just add-on benefits to work or continue the work in data science. So this is final things. Now, next part which I am going to explain is, for example, how to get the job as a freelancer while sitting at your home or at your place and you want to work as a data science as a data scientist. Then you need to go for different websites where you get freelance advertisement and freelance jobs to get the data science job. So here, this is one of the example. I just wrote data science freelance jobs, and I could see the first one and second one. They are the biggest job providers for in any field as a freelance to work from home. So of course here today I'm not going to complete all the things, but next class will cover everything how you are going to get the job. For now, you select either freelancer or Upwork website and look for the job. For example, I just selected another web page where it is mentioned these two jobs are available in data science. One is of $250, that is data pull and enrichment analysis. Second is software developer. If you are not hardcore programmer, forget the second one, software developer job. Go for data pull enrichment. Here, anyone who has basic knowledge and who have attended or listened my videos, they can easily understand they and deliver this work. And this is of $250, and they are quite easy to be completed. So thank you very much for today. And next class will cover the jobs and details how to get and where to apply for the jobs. So please subscribe the channel and we will be in touch. Thank you very much.